Okay, welcome back. We're on Prep Test 88, Section 1, questions 7 through 12. And so you should have Law Hub and you should be open to, again, Prep Test 88, Section 1, questions 7 to 12. And they throw a twist here. They throw two twists here. So there are 7 artifacts. So we'll just write those down, right? We don't want to write those down in red because we just don't do that. That's all there is to it. All right. So you have a G, an H, a J, M, N, PS. What about these 7 artifacts? They're in individual display cases, 1 artifact per case. The 7 display cases are arranged in a circle and numbered in order 1 through 7, with case 7 next to case 1. So there's your curveball. All right. Now, if you want to draw a circle, have at it. I'm terrible at drawing. So there's a way around this. And the way around this, if you wish to take it, and I absolutely would take this, is, okay, how am I going to organize this? I'm not drawing a circle, right? I'm terrible at drawing. But this I can do. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a drop here. And this drop here it's number 1. So it's almost as though this thing is a loop, right? That this one is, so these are, that would be the same. In other words, here, if we say G is 1, then you can just visually put the G there to connect it. So that's what I'm going to do. It really shouldn't matter how you draw it, but that's definitely what I would do. Okay, so let me get my constraints. So I've dealt with that. That's gone. And now I have my constraints. H or J is 7, so just write these up here. Necklace is lower number of masks cased in the mask. Helmet is next to the mask. And of course, that doesn't mean it's in front of it, just means it's next to it. So that little arc for me means they're reversible. P is not next to the psych. Again, statute, it's reading textually. It's reading with care, that you don't read that by saying, oh, that means they are next to one another. They are not. All right, sorry about that. And then this final constraint is yet another fly in the ointment. Neither the P nor the S is next to the J. I don't recall, or if I do recall, man, it's a long time ago. It's very rare that they do this, and I'm not sure they have done it. So in this is, so I'm going to start here with, if you're going to say neither the P nor the S is next to the J, then the J is central. So I'm just going to be prudent and say, okay, so here's a J and here's a J. All right, doesn't matter which way I do this. And the P is not next to the J. And the S is not next to the J. All right. Okay, and that's not happening. That's not happening. And it's reversible. So we have P, S, J multiple times. In terms of the constraints here, the G is the one that's coming out with no constraints. And again, this is it's the psychometric nature of the test, I think, is you got to look at this and say, one, you know, I don't have to draw a circle if I can create in advance something that works. And these three constraints, these last three constraints, if you are prepared, you'll recognize this is very rare and say, so what's going on here? Because you want to read these three constraints in the aggregate, not as individual constraints. I mean, you will obviously read them as individual constraints, but what is their aggregate impact? So P, S, and J can never be next to each other. So those three letters can never, ever be next to each other, which means they have to be separated by at least one, which means if you had 5 available slots, P, S, and J would have to be on odd numbers. If you had 6 available slots, P, S, and J would either have to be, let me see here, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6, or 2, 4, 6. And that's what they're getting at. And I have seen that in a much earlier exam, but man, not often. So I got it. I'm with this. I'm going to bifurcate on the H or the J, and then I'm going to build. So right here, if you want, you could just answer the orientation question. So why don't we do that, and then I'll build the hypothetical up. But here in the orientation question, which is question number 7, right? They want the order from case 1 to 7. So, okay. So my first constraint is H or J is 7. All right, so answer choice C is not going to work out. Then they want, so C is gone. Then they want N as lower than M. N lower than M, so A is gone. I just want to check it's okay in B. And M is fine here, and M is fine here. So I'm down now to B, D, and E. They want the helmet next to the mask. So the helmet next to the mask, we're fine here in B. We're not fine here in D. So D is gone, and we're fine here in E. So now we're down to A and E. They want to make sure the P is not next to the S. So we're fine here in B, and we're fine in E. And the final constraint is that the S cannot be next to the J. So in B, S is here, S is whatever, it's like 5th, right? And J is 1st, that's not a problem. And in E, it sure looks like they're not next to each other, doesn't it? S is 1st and J is 7th, but what do we know? If you're 7th, you're next to 1st because these things hook around. So the answer to question number 7 is B for Brutus. Now, if I just want to get that out of my way, I have to build my law here. So before I go to number 8, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to bifurcate on the HJ, which means I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to drop this down. Same thing. I'm going to number it. All right. And now I'm going to put H or J. And I'll start with this top hypothetical and say, so what do I know now? Well, with H, I know I have to have HM, right? So you would look at this initially and say the M could be 6th or it could be 1st. But no, because the N has to come before remember these two got combined. So this is now N coming before H and M, which means, again, reversible, which means that M cannot be 1st, and therefore the M must be 6th. Now, I have the M and the H placed. I've got 5 slots available, and I've got my 3 amigos, P, S, and J. They've got to be separated, right? And who do I have accompanying? So I'll just put my P, S, and J here. My P, S, and J, my 3 amigos. I have to account for them. And what else do I have? I have G. G can go anywhere. And I have N, and N can go anywhere because N is now in front of both H and M. So these 5, I got it. And I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but it appears to me the P, S, and J likely need to be distributed on slots 1, 3, and 5. But again, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I can manage this. You come down to the bottom hypothetical. I have J at 7, and J doesn't give me any. hard and fast stuff, but it tells me the other two amigos can't be next door. So, this is not going to be S, and this is not going to be P. And same thing here. 1 is not going to be S. It's not going to be P. So I'll put it over here just to make it visual. There are other letters that are not going to be. I'm just dealing with the 3 amigos right now. I mean, you can say, well, neither H nor M is going to be 1 down here, right? Because it's got to come after N. You can say N is not going to be, 6, but I can manage that. I want to concentrate on these 6 slots and who's left. And who's left, I've got to manage the N, H, and M. I've got to manage the G. G can be anywhere. And my 2 amigos, P and S. There are my 6 characters, my 6 slots. I'm ready to go. All right. Let's see what they did here. In question number 8, they say if the goblet is in 6, so they have to send me down to the bottom hypothetical for the goblet to be in 6. All right, got that. What do you want to know? Who's got to be next to the javelin? Okay, well, if they gave me the goblet for an answer, I got it, but they didn't. So that means they're directing my attention to slot number 1. Okay, and I look at the rest. So I know it's not S or P, right? There goes. I know it's not H or M, so it's got to be N. So the answer is N. So N's got to be 1, and sure enough, we have choice C. N is 1. I'm going to click on that, show answer, continue, and we got question number 8 right. So that was that. All right. So our law is working. All right. Next one, question number 9. They want the S in 3, and then they say what's got to be true. So here, if you put the S in 3, I don't know whether it's going to work on one hypothetical or both hypotheticals. I know if I put the S in 3 here, that I can place now the P and the J because I've understood this. So if I put the S in 3, the S got to be my P and J. 5's going to have to be my P and J. That leaves me with the G and the N. And that could be either. And, if I were just looking at the top hypothetical, if you're going to say the S is in 3, it must be true that M is in 6 and H is in 7. And, there is an answer choice C that says M is in 6. Here's where, since it must be true, I've got to make sure it's true in the bottom hypothetical. I mean, that's going to be the answer. But just if you try putting the S in 3 down here, all right, this is going to force the H and the M to be distributed among slots 4, 5, and 6, right? Okay. And it's going to force the N to be distributed among slots 1 and 2. Now, we've got a problem here because we've got the N, the H, and M. Those 3 are taken care of. We've got the G we can place somewhere, but we've got both the P and the S left. And what do I do about that? Because I can't put the P next to the S, right? This can't happen. I can't put the P next to the J. That can't happen. So there's no place for this to work. There's no place for me to harmonize the constraints I have with this bottom hypothetical. This would be time consuming. So really what they did is they sent you to this falls out, this is not valid, and therefore what must be true is that M is 6 or H is 7. So not surprisingly, only one of those appears, choice C, M is 6. You click show answer, and lo and behold, M is 6. So again, you want to practice what I'm doing, which is you'll be using scrap paper, and you want to get the law written out. Now they're letting you use pens and stuff, So you want to get this law that I have here in some kind of, I would say a pen, and then put this information in question by question, in like a soft pencil and then erase it when you're done. Okay, so we've got 7, 8, 9. Let's go to 10. And here there's nothing to do in 10. It's just saying what could be true. Okay, so, you know, this is kind of a pain in the neck because I have to work both hypotheticals, but let's get at it. Could the J be second? Well, certainly not down here, right? Whoops, I didn't need to erase my J. So if the J was second, it'd have to be on the top hypothetical, and that's not going to work because again, that's understanding this rule. If you put J in 2, you can't separate the 3 amigos. They have to be at 1, 3, and 5. B, could J be 4? Well, again, you're up at the top hypothetical. And again, the testing is the same principle. J cannot be 4 because you can't separate the 3 amigos if he's 4. They got to be 1, 3, and 5. J is 6. Well, that's just stupid because J can't be 6, neither hypothetical. How about P is 1? Yeah, because I can separate my 3 amigos. If I put P in 1, then yeah, I could put S or T in 3, S or T in 5, and I'm home. So that's going to be the answer. And it wouldn't matter. I mean, E is stupid, right? It says P is in 6. You can't have it up here on the top hypothetical. You can't have it down here in the bottom hypothetical. So the answer, if to number 10, is D for Drusus. The pot is 1. Let's go to show answer. Continue. The pot is 1. Go to question number 11. Okay, moving along here. Which one of the following could be the artifacts in cases 1 and 3 respectively? Okay. Well, again, you got both hypotheticals alive. So I don't really have any good answers here. 1 and 3, could you have the A, the goblet and the helmet? Well, no, if you put, well, first of all, if I put down in 1 and 3, if I go to the top hypothetical, the helmet's not available, right? So they're sending me down here to the bottom one. And if I put, and they say respectively, so it's got to read goblet and helmet. So goblet and helmet means this has to be M, right? N has to be here, and you're putting your 2 amigos where they can't go. So A is not working. And again, I would not go in order. I would be jumping down to E, but just from a sense of elevated difficulty. But let's just go in order. B says, could you have H and J at 1 and 3? So you can't do the top one, and you can't do the bottom one because you can't have H and J. You know, here you can't have H at 1. Here you can't have J at 3. C, H and S. Well, no, certainly not in the top one because H can't be 1. On the bottom one, if I put H in here, oops, and I put S here, I've got no place for the N, right? Because the M comes down here, but I've got no place to comply with the N. So that's not going to work. Let's take a look at D. How about J and M? Well, I can't be down here and I can't be here. So the answer is going to be E. And E is the J and the S. So the J and the S would send me up to the top hypothetical. And you notice how the 3 amigos are on odd slots. That's going to be perfectly fine. And the answer is E. Show answer. So click E, show answer, continue. What do you know? Easy answer. Okay. So again, you're on the test. You're doing this in pencil. You're erasing it. And now you're moving on to the last question. And here is, if the pot is in case 2, what could be true? And here they're going to make you work both hypotheticals. Okay. But if I'm going to put the pot in 2, it's one of the 3 amigos, right? So it can't work on the top hypothetical. Again, if you understand that, you can't, right? Because you only have 5 available positions. So that is, you're sending me down to the bottom hypothetical. And all I got to do, so if you put the pot in 2, all right, I've got room to move that S around. You know, the S can be 3, 4, or 5. I got room for that, right? So what would I know about this? Well, I have to maintain N, H, M, and then I can erase this now because we're at the last question. So I can take this P out of here. The only thing left is the S up here, right? So I'm just trying now to move these around spatially. Okay, so let me see what they come up with. But here's my G, my N, H, and M, and S. So A, can the goblet be fourth? Well, you know, if you put the goblet fourth, you'd have no place for the S and the M. I'm sorry, for the H and the M. So you can't do that. How about the helmet? Can that be seventh? Well, no, the J is seventh. Can the javelin be fifth? Well, no, the javelin's seventh. Can the mask be sixth? Mask six? So let me put the mask in six. So the mask would be here. The helmet would be here, right? So you've accounted for those two guys. You know, it doesn't really matter. If I put the N over here at one, now I've got the S and the G, and they're fine. And that's going to work. And that'll be the answer. And we'll just take a look at E, but that D is going to be the answer. And that's how you would solve this hypothetical. Just if you look at E, the necklace is fourth. But if you put the necklace in fourth, again, you have to be in the bottom hypothetical here. You have to put H and M here. All right. And you're stuck with the two amigos, S and P. Can't be on one, they'd be next to each other at 2 or 3. So the answer to question number 12 is going to be D for Drusus. The mask is 6. We're going to click show answer, continue, and lo and behold, we're done. So that was an interesting hypothetical, and I hope that was helpful.